Welcome to today's episode of Healthy Aging with Gina. So we start as we start every week with 10 minutes of exercises. I'm going to be doing 4 exercises today that are going to be working on your hands and on your wrists. We're going to be working on our upper body. We're going to be working on some nice slow eye-hand movements, and we're going to be working on the hips and knees. So we'll get right on into that. Music's cued. This is all about hands and wrists. So let's just get these little fingers moving to begin with. So we're just going to take one hand forward and the other back. Just keep these fingers moving the whole time. You might have heard of ADL, activities of daily living. It's why our hands, our wrists are so important. We need to be able to keep making movements. Keep these things fluid. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to stretch these hands out, drop these wrists down, bring them up. I want these arms straight. We're just working on wrists and then the fingers. Okay, let's stretch it out. Stretch. Little fist. Stretch. Fist. Go a bit faster. All right, now you've got to alternate. So one hand's got to go out and then the next. Every time you switch something up, the brain neurons have to kind of fire accordingly. Shake them out. Your hands and wrists can get tight very, very quickly. So just wrists turn. Imagine it's turning that jar. Imagine you've got to hold on tight onto the jar and just get the lid off. And you're going to turn it one way. Now turn it the other. Kind of like a demented spider. Change hands. This is why you've got to use your imagination. Hold that. Twist this one way. Which way did it go? Twist it that way and twist it the other way. This is obviously not my dominant hand, as you can realize. When we try and do things with our non-dominant hand, it's more of a challenge for the brain as well. Shake your hands out. It's good. Tap each finger with the thumb. Just go through them all. And quicker. All right, turn the hands upside down because you're going to feel totally different muscles being used in the back of the hand. Now we're going to start with the pinky. Pinky touch the thumb first. Stretch them out. Great. Now imagine you've got to try and pick up little buttons that are on a table in front of you, and you've got to pick them up with your thumb and with your index. So you've got to try picking them up with one hand, put them in front of you in a little bowl. Picking them up with the other. Now this time you're going to do it with your thumb and your middle finger. So imagine trying to pick up a button like that. Middle finger. Right? Now you're doing it with your ring finger. One little button going on that side. Picking it up off the table. One little button on that side. And now you're going to do it with your pinky and the thumb. Again, do you feel it? Right down the back of your hand. All these different muscles we don't normally use. Shake them out. Just reach out, grab everything you can do that is opening, closing, flexing these hands. So good for hands and wrists. Okay, the next one's all going to be about upper body and expressing. And it's playful and it's fun, this one. So it's all about imagining that we've got to clean windows, all right? So we've got to grab a bucket. The bucket's got water in it already. We're going to put some squeezy liquid in it. We're going to agitate it, all right? We're going to reach down lift up your sleeve, because somewhere in there there's the sponge down the bottom. Get the sponge out. Right, come on, going round and clean the windows. I think it's going to be a very, very wet window, this one. Right, drop that one in. Right, you're holding the bucket with this hand now. This arm's got to, should have done this beforehand, shouldn't we? But you've got to, so I said, we're using our imagination. Dip it in, find the sponge, squeeze it out. Right, we're doing the window on this side. All this is about using our upper body in different movements. We're not even thinking what we're doing because we're trying to think, what on earth is this woman doing having me wash windows? Right, pop that in there. Right, now you've got to reach into your pocket for some newspaper. So you've got some newspaper rolled up and you're just going to swipe and clean your window on this side. Get the little marks off and you're going to lean over and breathe on it. We're socially distancing, it's fine everybody. So come on, round and round and round we go with that. Right, so scrunch up that bit of paper, put it in the bin over there. Right, you've got another piece of paper in this pocket, got to reach down for it. Got to get this window this side. Come on. Bit of a breath on this one. Rub, 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 rub. Right, throw that one away. The rubbish bin was over there, remember? Okay, we've got a cloth on our shoulder, one on that shoulder. We're just going to wipe the windows. Okay, well, you know, it's kind of quick and easy and silly. All right, now the next one is all about our eye-hand coordination. It's all about our mobility. And we're just going to be doing some really slow movements. So we're just going to take one hand in front of us and we're going to have the palm facing out. I want you to watch the hand as it goes back. I want you to then turn the hand so the palm is now facing forward. Watch it as it comes forward. Turn it again so the palm is facing outwards. Slow. Turn it back. All exercises that work on our hand coordination are all good for keeping our balance. Take that one down to the knee. Taking the other hand up. Remember, we're turning it out to begin with. Push it out. So also as far back as you can. Always let the head and the eyes follow the hand. Turn the hand so the palm is now facing it. It's push. Imagine it's pushing the air. Keep watching it. You're watching it. You're fascinated in it. Turn it. So now you're watching the back of the hand. Push it out. Turn it back again. Bring the hand down. All right, now we're going to take these hands slowly up beside us. And I want you to push them down. Imagine you're pushing through thick air. So you get pressure in your hands. Then suddenly you turn it up and it floats up. So it's like feathers. Then you've got to push down hard. So when you alternate the pace and the force of your movements, activating your muscles in different ways. Let it float down again. Let the arms just float beside you. All right, we're going to take one leg forward for balance. We're going to take the hands, palms flat, and you're pushing out over that foot. And you're coming back in. Again, watch these hands as they go out. Palms as they come towards your face. Hands out. These movements aren't supposed to be fast. Change legs on the other side, push that one out. Always like to balance the body. Right, now the last one is going to be a few minutes of just working our legs and our hips. So, let's get marching. All right, and we're just going to step the foot out, out, and in. Find the beat of the music. In and out. Take the hand with it. We're focusing on the hip flexors, particularly the knees and the ankles. Change size. Step it out. And you can tap this heel, opposite heel at the same time, tap it and move it. You're doing two things at once. Hands are moving as well. Nice. See? You knew you could do so many different things seated in your chair, and I hope you are in your chair and not still sitting in the sofa, because it's too soft. You need to be in a firm, hard chair. You're going to work on this core as well. Step it up. We're going to kick the feet out. Just in front of you. Kick, kick, kick. All right, we're going to switch it over to heel tap. One foot out, and then in. Find the speed. Feel that in your hip? Oh, I feel it in mine. Maybe it's because I've had a hip replacement, that's why. Other leg. No reason to let these little things stop you. Good. And march them again. Now the next one, we're going to do a little twist across the body, and we're going to lift the knee and the elbow together. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Change sides. Doesn't have to meet. We're going to do 2 now. 2 again. 2 again. Singles. So you're lifting the hip, a little twist with the elbow. We're going to need a break after this 10 minutes, aren't we? Keep stepping it out. We're stepping one foot in and out. Hope you're doing it barefoot. You can have your socks on, but seated in a chair. There's no impact. You don't need to have your tackies, trainers, whatever you call them, whichever country you live in, or I'm British. What would I have called them? Sneakers? That's what the Americans call them. Heel out. Got to keep going because there's 3 minutes on your lower body. Whew. I think we're almost there, folks. Little tap in, tap. Excellent. There we are. 10 minutes of Ageless Grace, brain, body health. Thank you very much. See you after the break. And welcome back. I don't know about you, but I really do find that 10 minutes of doing Ageless Grace, brain health, really gets my body and my brain moving, stimulated, and all warmed up. I had a glass of water. I hope you did too. So today's topic is going to be about downscaling and decluttering. So it's easiest for me very often to kind of share this from personal experience. And I know that when we moved, the kids had 3 children, they'd grown up, they'd finished school, they'd left home, and we decided to move from an old house on an acre, big garden, didn't want to have to worry about that, and then to go and find something smaller. We'd been in that house for 17 years. Well, I hadn't been able to park a car in it for at least 5 years. It was absolutely stuffed full of boxes and junk, and what started at the back and just seemed to be far back just seemed to end up working its way steadily further forward. I don't know about you, but that is a very common problem. So 17 years in a house, children had left. It's a really wonderful time and a very cathartic process to do a huge clear out. And one can. I mean, I had a room with an awful lot of books, my library, so I was able to give books away. I was able to, some of them were so old and so yellow, I realized from my 18-year-old romances, they weren't fit for anything other than the bin, sadly. Some of them were good enough that I was able to sell them. And I reduced the library so that I knew I was taking the books to the new house that were going to fit in the space that I had allocated with bookshelves. And now if I find that the bookshelves get over full again, it's a question of, okay, look and see which books am I not going to want to read, which books did I not enjoy, which books would I want to give away. So you can look at it in different areas of your life. If you're a reader like I was, it was like able to deal with that. Now, the boxes in the garage, that was a fascination, all the sorts of things that came out of them. Once again, there were things that one could donate. There were things that one was going to throw out. There were things that you were able to give to the children and say, this is yours, kindly remove it if you want to keep it, or else it's going out. And you have to be ruthless because it's very easy to accumulate and hang on to, you know, all those pictures the children did when they were 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're now 30. I mean, even they don't want you to hold on to quite so much of all of that. So decluttering from getting out of the garage and just reducing the sheer amount of boxes was a joy. So that was nice to be able to move to another house and then to be taking a lot less things with us. But hey, guess what? In a couple of years, it's amazing how it is one of those laws that as much space as you have got, if you move into a house that has got empty cupboards and it has got empty shelves, it will take you a certain period of time to fill every single one. Now, my beloved mother, when she passed, she was living in a very nice little 3-bedroom house on a security estate. She'd lived there with my dad, but he had passed 7 years previously. And I would say she wasn't a hoarder, but there was something in every single cupboard in the house and up in the loft. And my sisters and we were lucky that we were able to get on and be able to go through the house over a period of time. We actually had 10 weeks that we were able to be together. And we were able to some days just go through one room and do one job because it was all too emotional to go through and sort out her shoes, for example, or her underwear, those kind of more personal items. And we were also had luckily a very, very good relationship. And to be able to go through the house and to take turns on choosing things that we did want, whether that was a piece of furniture, maybe a chair that we loved. Somebody else loved that table. What about that coffee table? What about this? What about that? So we were able to very fairly go around and take turns in choosing the various things that we wanted to keep that were memories of our parents, and the same with all her personal items as well. And over the period of time, we were able to declutter. And the point I want to just share is that you might be in a position now that you have retired and you have this space to be able to stand back and look at your own home and say, all right, I really do need to start thinning out things, because one of the kindest things you can do to your children is to sort out your own clutter. Because as much as we think, and it's very hard, in fact it's absolutely impossible for us to imagine what life is going to be like on the planet that we are no longer here. Well, you know, we can't imagine it's going to keep continuing, but it will. And all the things that are so important to us, whether they're our personal possessions, whether it's I love my watch, or, you know, again, I've got a favorite piece of furniture, I've got a favorite book, or any of these things. These were my things, and their importance is going to end with my life. And I don't want to inflict these things on my kids to have to sort out. I've kept journals for years. I realise some of those journals have got quite private things. I think I actually need to make sure I put a message in them to say, burn this. In fact, I should be living by my own words, going through my own cupboards and sorting out my journals and probably destroying them right now if I want to, or else dipping back into and reading them. So the whole aspect of declutter is to think about your family and to think about the things that, if you have things that are personal to you that you want to give to one of your children or to a grandchild, then to specify it up front. It was one of the things my ex-husband's family did, which I really liked. So there were 4 children and there were 5 grandchildren. And when my mother-in-law was getting older and frailer, the 4 kids got together and Mum said, you know, who was good at what she wanted people to have. There were a couple of things that she specifically wanted one of the sons to have or one of the daughters to have. And then she chose items. She chose 5 items for the grandchildren that were then a personal gift, a legacy from her to them, which was quite lovely because it meant that, you know, they then received something that she had thought about that they might enjoy. I'm not saying they necessarily did, but the thoughtfulness was there. It really made a huge difference. So we all have things in our house that could go to somebody special. Maybe it's a best friend who expressed an interest in a little sketch or something. But it's to give it thought and to give it time, rather than just not caring and thinking, oh, well, they can sort it, you know, when I'm gone. Don't do that. I think it is far kinder and it's far easier for us to also declutter our own lives. When I separated a couple of years ago, and the house that we had been in at that stage, we'd been in for 6 years. So this was after the big move, after the children had left. And again, as I said, every cupboard had got full, the loft was full, the bookshelves seemed to have swelled. So again, it was a time to really get into all the cupboards, take out all the stuff, look at what I wanted to keep, what I was going to take with me, where I was then going to be moving to afterwards. And it, as I said, the expression which I love, it's cathartic, it is cleansing, it is liberating to be able to be free of things. I know that there is a whole movement of minimalism, and I don't think I want to live quite totally minimalistic, but I like to be able to live tidily, and it's nice to be able to live in a space that does not have a huge amount of clutter. What they used to call dust catchers, you know, something our parents and probably grandparents had, lots of little kind of knickknacks and statues. Those kind of things you don't really tend to see very often these days. Maybe you've got a nice fancy vase or a bowl. You know, keep the things around you that are important to you, that you value, that give you pleasure and that give you joy. But get into your cupboards, even if it's just one at a time, and just start, whether you decide to start in the kitchen or whether you decide to start in the bedroom. Most of us have clothes that we no longer wear. I have a personal rule for myself, and I know other people who do it as well, that if I buy a new top for the summer, then I'll bring it home and I'll say, okay, something's got to go out. Because there's always something else that you haven't worn. I've learned over the years, having had weight be a problem, that yes, there might be certain wardrobes that would kind of different sizes that would go up if I was going to pick up weight and then come down again. When I started, the last time I lost weight, I said to myself, the bigger sizes, they're going out. They're not staying in the cupboard any longer. So I would only encourage you that if that is a goal that you have, that you want to be able to improve your health this year, 2021, then I would just encourage you to say, listen, start really taking care of your own health, start putting good habits in place, and start, once something is now too big and too baggy, then it's definitely time to give it away. There is always somebody else who's going to be hugely grateful for it. But really, you do not need to give space to stuff that you're not using. And I am well aware myself that having moved into this cottage where I am now and having bought a whole lot of boxes from the old house of stuff that I had to keep, and it all went up in the loft. And I've been there 2 and a bit years, and I know that there are over 20 boxes up there. I haven't opened one. So, I mean, technically, they could all go and I would probably have absolutely no memory of what I might be missing. I know there are a few bits in there that I've kind of wondered where they are, but rather than wonder, go and sort. One of the big things that I want to do this year is to work on photographs. I know that I have got 3 big boxes of photographs. So before the infamous digital camera arrived, my eldest daughter is 36 years old. I've got photographs going all the way back. I've got pictures from my old childhood that we inherited from when we went through my mum's pictures. That was great fun as well with my 2 sisters, to be able to be sorting pictures that obviously were memories from being with our parents as well. So this is to say, listen, declutter, make your life easier for both yourself and for your family, because there will come a day that you will no longer be with us, and all those things that were important are just going to be somebody else's trial and problems to sort. So be kind to your family, be clear on what you want people to have, be clear on what you can give away, just reduce the amount of clutter that you have. And the one thing now with staying home and staying safe is that there's no excuse, there's plenty of time. If you're wondering what you should be doing, start sorting out your own things. So make sure that you're doing everything that you should do, you're wearing your mask when you go out, that you're washing your hands and you're sanitizing, and that you are staying safe, you are staying healthy, and take this opportunity to declutter and get ready for when you might want to downsize. But whatever state of ever living that you are right now, just go and make your own life easier by having less clutter around you. Stay well, stay safe.